Being a maltster, we get to interact with a ton of different industries. We got seed companies, the barley breeders,
Seed growers,
the farmers themselves, the brewers, distillers, restaurants, pubs,
home brewers,
distributors, the people that make the growlers, the people,
manufacturers for equipment.
yeah, even just
farming.
the equipment. We traveled around the world. We were in Turkey and China, and
We've interacted with a lot of different people in this industry. I love being a maltster because it gets me a chance to work with my dad on the farm, and I also get to play in the malt house with the different grains and roasting them to different products.
my name's Matt Hamill. I'm with Red Shed Malting, and we take barley, usually from Dad's farm, and we process it and make it into an ingredient that's good for craft brewers. Joe was doing some home brewing, and Dad's been farming his whole life, so we're a fourth generation grain farm. And we got interested and eventually obsessed with getting Dad's barley into Joe's beer. We had a bit of an aha moment at Big Rock Brewery, where they use lots of local ingredients, lots of local Alberta barley in all their beers, but they still had to import lots of their malts from Germany, or the UK, or other places in Europe or the United States, because there wasn't a roasted option.
We're a little different at Red Shed compared to some of the malt houses around us where we have the roaster. So that gives us a little bit more opportunity to play around with the grains, where we can roast them and add more color and flavor into the product. And then the brewers take that and they can work their art and develop a whole wide range of different beers from those products that we're roasting.
Dad's, you know, we've just grown to know each other on such a deeper level, which is really kind of neat. But it's one of my favorite things with being in the industry that we're in is finding a new beer that our malt's in and being able to put that in Dad's hand and tell Dad, your barley's in here. And that's just a really neat experience.
My name is John Hamill and I operate Hamill Farms. What I like about growing malt barley is it is a great rotation crop for our farm. We grow wheat and canola. We have to rotate out of those. We like to have at least 2 cereal crops in between our canola. So barley fits in as a good rotation.
It's a new industry, like the small scale malting is really new, and the craft beer industry is exploding right now, and there's lots of excitement around that. And there's lots of farmers who for years have been selling their product as a commodity and not knowing what happens to it after they drop it off at the elevator. And we get to play the connector. So farmers are excited when they see their product going into a beer, and consumers are excited when they can get a beer and know some of the story behind that. The barley value chain is super important in Alberta. We've always had two things kind of working. So we have big maltsters and we have a big livestock industry. When a farmer grows the barley, it's either going to make malt quality and then we can put it into beer, or it's not going to meet malt quality and then it's going to get sold as feed. Barley has always been part of the Alberta story. It's the best place in the world to grow.
We have the right kind of weather conditions for growing it, so we get we usually seem to get pretty good yield and pretty good quality on our barley. So it is a very nice crop to grow in central Alberta. Did I ever think I'd be working in the beer industry? No. I never thought I would be working in the beer industry because it just never crossed my mind. I grew up, you know, there's the big breweries, there wasn't the craft beer industry. And when the craft beer industry came in, it was, you know, it was pretty, at first, you know, it was kind of novel. My 2 boys were drinking these craft beers and I'd try them and say, oh wow, that's different. And so it took me a while to kind of gain an appreciation for the craft beer. And boy, but to actually think that we're in the industry now and working, and it's pretty exciting, but I just never thought that would happen. That was Matt and Joe that brought us into this industry, and yeah, it's been exciting, so I thank them for that.
Meeting innovative farmers, people who are just natural born entrepreneurs who absolutely love being in the tractor, who love seeing that field grow. People who are selling the barley seed that just love their job, or that are doing tests on the barley seeds, or developing new varieties, that just care so much about what they're doing. And then it goes through us, the maltsters, and then we get to pass it on to the brewers, and the brewers are super passionate about what they're doing, and lots of them started as home brewers, and they've got hundreds or thousands of brews under their belt, and just can nerd out on beer forever. And it's just fun hanging out with people that are that passionate about what they're doing.
My main influence in farming and in my love of farming would definitely be my dad and my two uncles. I think that's where my brother and I really gained an appreciation for farming. It was a lot of fun to be on the farm with them, and I still miss them. It's a different, it's different when you lose your dad and your two uncles, and you're farming. It's a little bit different, but you have to let go of that and look at the new opportunities that are presented, and that's what we've done here. I'm not farming with my dad and my two uncles anymore. I'm now farming with my two sons, and that's pretty darn exciting as well. So I think family has been my main influence for farming.
Yeah, I don't see ourselves leaving this malting industry anytime soon. We're loving it. We're deep in it, and customers are fun to work with, and we get to work the land, and it's just a great job to have.